To use AI-QA-agent repository, you need to go to GitHub and just type love automate. You will find it easily. You can use this repository as a template, or you can just clone repository by copying this URL. If you want to learn how to use this repository, just please read a README file. You have a full tutorial how to clone it, use it, and run it. Okay, after cloning your repository and opening this repository on your local folder, it is recommended by default. It is on the main branch. Main branch contain just a framework for generation Playwright test. It is recommended just to create new branch like I created here. Check out to this new branch, explore on the new branch how to use it, and later on, whenever you want, you can create as many branches as you want, and you can always back to the main branch, which contain only template without generated tests. Okay, so let's have a demo. Let's start from reading README file. In the README file, you have information what kind of libraries on which version we are using. I'm using Playwright test library on version 1.29. I'm using also Playwright AI agents which contain chat mode definition, planner, generator, and healer. They are located under GitHub chat modes folder, and over there you can read description. It was installed from the Playwright test, so you can read description with information how to generate, how to plan a test, and how to self-heal those tests. If we back to README file, you can see later that the workflow starting from planning test when we are generating test plan. Next, this based on this test plan empty file which will be used as an input to our test, automatically Playwright test will be generated. Next, those tests will be tested, and if there will be any errors, AI will self-heal it and generate at the end report with the test. What is very important, the last step is to validate if the test results are correct. And report contains general report about status of the test, plus there is link to standard Playwright report in HTML format with recorded videos, traces, and screenshot. So we can go, I will show you for a moment how we can go through traces just to make sure the tests have sense. Just for the purpose of those tests, I also have used for validation. I have installed Playwright CLIs with the skills which can generally automate a browser and execute some actions. So I will show you as well how to use Playwright CLI. For demo of purposes, I have selected two example demos, one for UI automation from the source demo and one for API automation. Everything as well is documented in the agent MD file. You can read, this is like the orchestrator which combine all files and links how this agent should work. Next, here you have some instructions how to first initialize and update chat modes, but you don't have to do it. Actually, all what you have to do it is just to start and run a prompt. Let me show you. I will use this prompt that I would like to run the AI engine loop for source demo, or you can use different prompt like here, plan, generate, test, here, report, and validate source demo or pet store API. So if I will use it, it will start at the beginning generating test cases and test plan. We can see at the beginning it's exploring, learning, and reading the context. It's very important that this framework contains a lot of context, which give it possibility to generate a good test plan, and later on, based on this test plan, generate the good test cases. As we can see, the test plan right now, it is generated. It will be stored, it is stored already in other test in a plan. It looks like this one, and right now it's generating test cases based on this test plan. We can see there's scenario about successful login, invalid credential, look at users, add to cart from inventory. We can do it in the loop. We can always say later, develop more test cases. For demo purposes, just to start, it should be good enough. So right now it's developing, in development phase, it's just developing tests, and even more, it's quite fast. It's running those tests in the headed mode. It's next exploring test. The test already passed, and we right now it's generating test report. So we are in the report phase. It's generating for us some summary report, and it's giving us at the end summary what happened in each phases. So in the planning phase, we plan, and test plan was generated under test plan folder. And later on, it has developed the test, run those tests, and skip it. There wasn't any error. So if I will ask it in the second loop for more detailed test cases, then probably it may found some issues. And at the end, we have reports. So this is the plan. Test cases looks like this one, where we have when we have quite readable self-descriptive description of test cases. It is like divided into describe, test, and test steps here. Where we can see all tests and all steps with assertions. So for the first view, it's looking quite good, and at the end, it has generated just summary test report in an MD file for us, and let me show you. It contains just a summary of the test, how many tests have passed, 5 of them, with information about those tests. And right now we can I can show you test report. Here's also a comment which we can use, npx playwright short report, and this is the result of Playwright report. By reason, I have stored to make validation screenshot, traces, and videos. And we can see and go through. This is successful login reaches inventory, where we can see that we, given that we are on the login page, we are navigating to the login page. We are expecting there is a username. Later on, when valid credentials are submitted, we just enter username, password, clicking login button, and then inventory just loadings. A very simple test to checking that we have managed to log in. We can see a video. From this test, we can see, yeah, it has login, it was pretty quick, but the best is to use traces to validate and understand what exactly happened. The traces allowed us to go step by step and just see what happened. This is like just before hook, so here is given action. I'm just using BDD gherkin format based on the given, when, and then. Given is like precondition for our test that we expecting to be on the login page, and username is visible. When this is action, when we actually entering user, we entering secrets, password, and we just log in. And then this is like assertion, we validating here that first of all we are checking that we have the correct URL. We can also check here more information. If there was network information, we can check also requests underneath, and there's like in DevTool the similar overview, what happened. If there are some errors, we can also investigate it. Plus here we have the summary what happened in which test, which allowed us to easily validate tests without even need of debugging and rerunning those tests. Of course, we can always rerun tests if we want. We can just back to cursor, and under cursor in testing phase we can rerun all tests which we just run right now. So I can maybe try to rerun one specific test, and based on that we can do validation. So exactly the test already passed, we have rerun it, so it's looking good. And when we are aware, we'll go through all tests and we're happy with the result, okay, validation pass. There's also one more option. We can also use skills, Playwright CLI. And in the skills, this is something optional. We can do any automation action on the browser, and maybe I will just ask the simple thing. If we don't want to use and run it manually, we can always ask action, and maybe at the beginning, to getting familiar with Playwright CLI, list me available commands which I can execute. So you can do almost anything what you can do in standard Playwright but here you just typing and talking to Playwright rather than executing some commands. You're just giving all like actions, commands which you can use for Playwright running. And maybe I will just ask, you need to use / Playwright CLI rerun the latest authentication test. You can say in headed mode because probably it will rerun in hidden headless mode now, but let's wait, let's think. So it's demo scenarios with Playwright CLI, normal reuse. So it's just exploring, and it is just rerunning. I can say yes, it has rerun, it has passed, and then I will say rerun in headed mode. So for a moment, if we type rerun in headed mode, it should just open browser so we can see a little bit more. This is UI test, what is happening. We can see some action. There was at the beginning just test for authentication, and we can see this test have passed. It was pretty quick. So anything what you can do with the Playwright, with this Playwright CLI, you can do by just typing, and this is very useful for exploration of test. Okay, but moving back to our tests, so we can also at the end confirm I confirm test were validated and working as expected. Or if we would like to add some test cases, we can also say write me a specific test for this test scenario. And this is how you can use your framework. And if you will back to your main, you're just starting from the beginning. So each branch, it is like different application under test. And the power of this workflow is that it contains quite a lot of context. So as we could see, the tests which I generated didn't have need to self-heal at all. So I recommend just to clone it, use it, test it, and play with it. Thank you.